welcome. If you haven't heard it, it's been a wonderful week for video games. And yeah, welcome Ruben, welcome Alex, welcome Abscon. Thank you, by the way. It's been a lot. It's been we have 2 weeks to cover of news, and we also have to talk about some games I've been playing, which, you know, most of it it's mostly Blueprints. Blueprints has been consuming most of my life, basically. I was just checking the news here that I haven't covered in a week. Right, Ghost of Yotei just dropped a trailer out of nowhere. That was the most weird ass thing they could have done. There's some stuff here I don't really like care for news. Undertaker's coming to Fortnite, apparently. If you are into that, I think. I'm not even sure like what Fortnite is anymore. But yeah, so first of all, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry I missed last week. I was super sick. Basically, like 2 weeks ago, my girlfriend decided that it would be a good time to be sick herself, and I was like, let's just like a minor cold, don't worry, like that will go, like that will pass like very, very, very fast. You should be fine, just take a small rest. And I was kind of like teasing her about it, like, oh come on, like just a minor cold, you can do this. Here comes Sunday night. Sunday I streamed for a little bit, but here comes Sunday night, and I'm like, I have a small throat like itch. Hopefully it's not like that. This doesn't mean anything. And that being said, I woke up Monday morning like, oh man, I feel like shit. I feel like just awful right now. What's going on? Yeah, and it turns out like I got like sick as well. But for some reason my sickness got me way worse than what than what got her. Like, I basically, like, so Monday I was like getting some body aches, some throat itch, and then suddenly like I started losing my voice completely. Like, oh cool, this is going well. Classic male flu, exactly. Like, Jesus, we are so weak, man. I don't know how we've survived this long, to be honest. Like, it's so stupid. So I was like, okay, I just need to work anyway. I'll be working, and but like I can see that I will not get better until Thursday show. And like, yeah, okay, I just immediately cancel all the plans, and like, okay, I might as well just rest, take a week off. Kinda. I was still working all that week, but not much talking, which my girlfriend probably appreciated as well, since most of what comes out of my mouth is just dumb puns, I guess. But yeah, other than that, we will be talking about, I guess we're gonna talk about video games. Yay! Video games. I need to talk about Blueprints most of all. We've been talking. Blueprints came out like 2 weeks ago. It was the game that I played the most during these 2 weeks that went by, and I gotta say that I'm loving the game. Like, Blueprints is pretty good. So like, Blueprints, it's like, for those that are unaware, hey Renee, welcome to the stream. For those that are unaware, if you haven't checked the news, Blueprints basically was and I think it still is the best quoted game, or the game with the best Metacritic score of the year so far. We can actually check that now. Probably already gone. Blueprint's Metacritic score. Let me see. Came out like 93, 92 from Metacritic. Passing Split Fiction that had 91. So yeah, it's still the best game of the year, apparently. And it's a roguelike, kind of escape the room, or find the room in this case, but you progress through this mansion that's like divided in some sort of grid, and you, every time you open a door, the game prompts you with a choice between what room should we place here next. And it's run based. It's a roguelite with permanent progression. It's pretty cool. Like the way it handles things. Like the way the game sets you up. It's like, hey, you are a child that his, I guess, very eccentric uncle left you something when he passed away like 2 weeks ago, and in the letter it says, hey, like I left you something in my mansion, but you need to work your way up there because the mansion works in like mysterious ways, and once you get there you realize what's going on. Like every day the mansion resets, and all the rooms that you placed in that set grid that I talked about, like the rooms reset, and you need to place the rooms all over again, and they're all random, so like layout changes every day. It's a pretty neat setup. I like, for a roguelike, I think it's the first time I'm seeing like this specific combination of escape the room with puzzles inside those rooms, and like run based, so like with a reset every day, and those rooms like depend on like those rooms have like several colors that separate what those rooms intend to do. Like you have green hallways, which are like traversal spaces. You have puzzle rooms. You have red rooms that like somehow are rooms that take away some of your in-game stats. For instance, like you basically you have in-game currencies called like steps. Every time you enter a room, you take one step out of your counter, and you start the game with like 50 steps or something. So like sometimes it's like, hey, I'll take you, instead of taking one step every time you enter this room, I'm taking you to 2 steps instead. Or like every time you if you draft this room and you place it on the grid, like half of your steps are gone. So like there's like some push and pull in there. Very, very interesting, like in the way that you manage the rooms that you place in the grid. And this was like how the game was sold to me. Like if you look at the trailers, and AppsCon was the one that actually brought the game to my attention. The game, you look at it and it's like, it feels it's gonna be this. Like you need to reach a specific room. Like there are 2 permanent rooms in that specific location, in that mansion, that's the starting area and the ending area, and that's where you want to reach. Those 2 are permanent, and you need to find your way through, like placing the tiles over there. That being said, the game has a lot more outside of the mansion to explore, because you can go outside of the mansion. So you start like in the entrance hallway, but if you go back, you have like this big garden area. That's like, at first you obviously like you notice like this is a little bit too big to just be like a starting area, just to like to be a like some random place. So you start to explore and you realize there's like closed gates, and there's a camping thing, and like there's metal doors on a bunker. So like a, I guess, kind of a bunker situation. I'm not sure if it's a bunker yet. So you as you progress inside the house with different puzzles, you also unlock new areas outside, and those give you permanent upgrades. Like you unlock a shack outside that has another random room you can place, and that room is specific to that shack. That for instance, you can start the day with 2 items, or you can start the game like that day. Every house in the room has like little dirt spots that you can use if you have a shovel to dig things, and those things are random. A lot of RNG, basically. There's shops inside that you can place, shops that will sell you more steps, or like items that will give you more steps, shovels, metal detectors so you can find more keys. It's a very interesting, like because the runs are kind of long though. Like the runs usually take around half an hour, like sometimes more if it's a really good run. But most of my runs have been ending in a place where I'm like, I was so close to solving this time, or to get to the end chamber, to the last chamber that you need to reach, or solving a specific puzzle that will open something outside. Most of the runs are very, very how do you say, satisfactory, I guess, because you end up solving a lot of shit like early game. And it's cool, like underneath it all there's like a story. You start uncovering letters, and there was like a murder in the mansion, or someone went missing, and you start to like piece the puzzle together with several letters and environmental storytelling in the middle of those rooms. Like sometimes there's post-it notes, there's objects placed that you need to realize what that object was there for, and this is not part of a major puzzle for you to like clear the room. And you're not, by the way, you're not obliged to you don't need to clear the room, or if it's a puzzle room, you don't need to clear the puzzle to advance in the room. You can just place a room and go through the next door that you placed and put the next grid, and then go back to solve the puzzle if you need to. But the puzzles are not mandatory. Obviously there's rewards if you get the puzzle right, but you can just progress through the game without caring about the puzzle, and just caring about the room placement if that's needed. And yeah, I'm like 40 or so hours right now. 40 or so hours in that game. It's and like 40 hours in, or like I think it's like 36 at this point, but whatever, like 30 40 hours, like 20 hours in, I start to feel a little like I'm starting to form my thoughts about the game, and there's stuff that like I think they could be done better. Like for a game that's so highly rated, I was expecting something else, I guess. Because it sells, the game is sold to you like on the trailers as a puzzle solving game, like escape the room style, but with RNG and run based. The problem is that those puzzles most of the times are very hit and miss. At least for me, okay? So this is like personal opinion. Like if you are enjoying the puzzles in this game, like fine. The problem for me is that most of these games, these puzzles are either extremely simple to figure out, and once you solve them, like if the day resets and you need to solve them again, the game doesn't store that you solve the puzzle. And some puzzles, like the reward is so low that it starts to like feel more like a chore instead of like just playing the game. It just starts to feel like busy work. For instance, there's several rooms where the puzzle is like there's a safe, okay? The solution to that safe is always the same, okay? Until you figure out the password on the safe, it's like usually a 4-digit code. You figure out the solution for that safe, so now you know the solution like every time that safe appears in your draft, okay? So you place the room, go in there, open the safe, and the reward for that safe is usually like one gem, which is like another currency that you use inside the game to place some special tiles. And the red letter. Red letter is like the main lore of the thing. Like you're supposed to collect 8, I think. I think it's 8. Now that I think about it, probably 8. And once you collect all those 8, like, and once you read the letter, like the letter just, like if you open inventory, it says like, hey, you've read this one. The problem is that every time you start a new run, you place the thing again, and you have to punch the code again and get a gem, and you don't need to read the letter, like the letter is done. But the gem is not like an amazing reward. Like sometimes you have rooms costing 1, 2, or 3 gems, and immediately after you're gonna place the next room and you're gonna need 3 gems again, if you want to place the special tile. But I would feel that it would not matter if the game would store the fact that, hey, you completed this puzzle. The reward is so small that I'm just gonna leave the safe open, okay? But it's not like you place the room, you go there again, you change the you input the code again, and the safe opens up like with a very, very, I'm not gonna say slow animation. Like the first few times it's okay, but like looking at the animation like for 20 times after, it's like, oh, I need to wait until this all opens, and you are locked in place until the safe opens. So you get the gem, you completely ignore the letter at that point. It's like, okay, I just need a gem because I needed to open the fucking door, and go back. And also the running speed, like the game has 2 speeds, like you can walk and you can run, and it's not enough to have some slow ass animations while opening the same safes that you opened 20 times before. The pacing of that character is so slow. Like the main, I know it's like, I know it's supposed to be a child, like a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old child, but I feel the game's running speed, it's other games' walking speed. I know you're not supposed to be running inside a house, and it's a puzzle game, you're supposed to take your time. But it's not the fact that the game runs slow or the character runs slowly. It's when you add up the slow movement, the outside exploration, which is like a big garden area, you also move very slow, even if you're running. And then the safe animations that you are locked in place, while watching the safe slowly open until you're like, okay, I can move again, and then reach for the gem. Or if you're doing something, like there's a security room where you need to toggle some stuff in a computer, and every time you open the computer there's an animation of him logging in, and you see the loading screen going on. It's like, okay, I get it, I just let me do the thing that I've come to do and move on my way. Like I've seen this, okay, just go, just let me fucking go, okay. And yeah, there's too much backtracking sometimes. Like you place the rooms in a certain order, you get closed off because the room that came out on the draft has no door for you to progress. So you need to go around the whole place into another room that you left open deliberately, because you know you're gonna get stuck sometimes, because you know that's how RNG works. So you go all the way back into the house, like slowly moving, like, okay, I reached the other end, now I'm gonna place another room, and you know. But yeah, like so the it's like it's small things that I think quality of life changes that would improve this game so much. The other major thing that happened to me that I didn't like as much, there's 2 specific puzzles, at least so far. Not sure if there's more puzzles right now, okay? But there's 2 specific puzzles, which is the parlor puzzle, which basically works as you have 3 boxes, okay? One of them says the truth, and the other one says a lie, okay? And you need to figure out between 3 boxes, because there's always a third. Which one is telling the truth? Which one is a lie? And where are the gems placed? Okay. The game starts off very simple with this one. And the lies and the truth are like very easy to understand, but as you progress through the game changes you what each box is saying. And sometimes boxes have nothing in it, so you like you don't even count that box as, you know, part of the equation. So you start to, like, instead of being a puzzle, of like a cute puzzle that you need to solve and think of, like, okay, I'm gonna solve this puzzle and get 2 gems out of this, or 3, because you can upgrade the rooms and have more rewards. So you open the box and, like, okay, I got 2 gems, but now the boxes start to feel, instead of a puzzle, more like, hey, hope you guessed this right, motherfucker, because, like, I'm just not gonna give you sentences that make any sense. Or you look like most of the initial puzzles on those boxes were like, oh, maybe the gems are in the blue box, or maybe they are in the red box, but one of them is telling, like, the lie, and you need to figure out which one is which. And then you get, like, later down the line, you get sentences like, this box is blue and this box is black, and they're exactly, like, matching those same boxes. Like, okay, but both of these are true, but not necessarily telling me where the gems are. And the gems, that, like, just because it's the box that's saying the truth does not mean that the gems are in there. Okay, so it's just, like, it's just a guessing game. It's not even it's a slot machine. It's not a guessing game anymore. It's just, you know, it's just luck. Which fucking sucks. Hey, Fox. Well, welcome to my rant about blueprints. Okay. And that's the first puzzle. It, like, starts to ramp up until it's not a puzzle anymore, and it's just, like, you know, it's you taking a shot in the dark, and hopefully you've picked up the right box. And the second puzzle, this one is, like, it's more doable. You have a dart board, like one of those darts that you have, like, in bars and such. That gives you mathematical equations for you to solve, and it starts, like, simple with, you know, like, this number plus another, it will give you a number that's on the dartboard, and it starts, like, adding and subtracting, and then it's, like, multiplying and dividing. At some point, the game starts to introduce a different order of operations and exponentials and divisions, you know, and the reward is, like, it's 1 or 2 keys, which, don't get me wrong, it's a better reward than the gems that you get from opening the same safes, like, constantly, okay? But at the same time, when you are in, like, day 41 and you start to pull out the calculator to solve a puzzle that like, will not give you a like that much of a reward, like, the puzzle starts to feel like it's not worth to just go through. So you start to avoid the room a little bit, because, you know, it's like, I know I'm gonna get the 2 keys anyway, but, like, I'm getting too much work for a puzzle I've solved 41 times already. Even if it was, like, 41 different mathematical equations, like, why should I do it? Like, at some point, like, the game, like, it becomes you versus the game, and not you trying to solve the game. The game is actually like, actively pushing you back to solving the thing. That, coupled with, like, some really bad RNG sometimes, like, it feels the game will basically try to stop you dead in its tracks for you to not solve the puzzle that you're trying to solve, or to not to solve, like, some outside section that you are, like, very, very close to solve. There's this like, I don't want to give you too many spoilers, but there's, like, a chess puzzle outside that requires specific tiles to be drafted on a single run. And I've come close to complete that puzzle like at least 9 times, and I'm always missing one single tile. And I'm talking runs that are like 1 hour long or longer. Which like it starts to like gets to a point where you're like, okay, I want to finish this game, but at some point like the game will either make me quit or I'll make the game quit. Okay, like this is starting to feel like a push and pull kind of situation. Instead of me trying to uncover the game, it's just a game like, look, I'm not gonna let you do this time. Okay, I'm gonna do the next one. No, I'm not gonna let you do this as well. Like, so okay, like what do you want me to do then? Like, you're actively not drafting the rooms that I need, just for like me to just not progress. So what I did was basically like restart the whole game. And I restarted, like I deleted my save file, started the game again. And what it took me like 10 days to figure out in the first one, like with opening certain areas of the game and opening certain, like unlocking certain upgrades or permanent upgrades that the game gives you, took me 2 days to finish to give the whole thing. 2 games, so 2 runs instead of like 8 or 9. And like, cool. So like obviously like it's gonna be faster. I don't need to deal with those stupid puzzles that like the difficulty are just like ramping up. But at the same time, I'm still like progressing very slowly because of the run speed. So yeah, at some point like the thing that it's keeping me in this game right now, it's the overall like plot that I want to solve, because I have like a whole like page of notes, like a Google Keep of some sort, with notes and codes and missing like pieces that I don't know the answer for, that I want to figure out. Like I feel like I'm the the Pepe Sylvia type of meme, like the guy with a cork board full of papers and like going nuts, like I want to know who Pepe Sylvia is. Like I'm feeling like that guy, but for blueprints right now, because I want to know like where the game leads me. Eventually, yesterday I reached the antechamber, and it's another puzzle I could not solve because it's missing me another room. And the same thing happened to Abscon, and I'm like, fuck, man, like really, I know what this puzzle is, I need to figure it out, but now I need to reach the antechamber again and draft that same room in the same run so I can figure out the stupid puzzle that I need to backtrack the whole way once I reach the antechamber. Like, oh, come on, man. Like, it feels sometimes the game is just layering stuff just for the layering and not because it's actually fun. It's getting to a point where, like, 40 hours in, or almost 40 hours in, I feel like I should have at least saw credits once, and I didn't. Which is making me considering dropping the whole game if it was not for the whole outside area, and if not for the overall narrative of whole thing. That being said, okay, like despite all these rants and the thing that I feel like the quality of life changes that I feel they are fulcral at this point, like especially the run speed. Please, for fuck's sake, let me run at the running speed. That's all I ask. Because the game, like the animation and the running, it's so slow. That being said, with like even with all these like nuisances in the middle of the game, I still want to go back. Yeah, I'm not gonna put a mod. I'm not gonna pay for a mod, especially. Like I'm fine. I like if I'm making like a pseudo review, which I'm not calling this a review. It's just like it's me like talking about the game, because I'm not gonna score it or anything. Unless you want, if you want to say like if I recommend this game, absolutely. Like I feel this game is pretty freaking cool. Okay, like I feel the way they mixed the run based stuff with the hints and the puzzles, especially at the early game, it's enough for you to be hooked in like not even like 30 minutes. It's fantastic. It's like I absolutely recommend you get you this game, and like I don't know, like get this on a sale or something, especially if you like puzzle games and if you like roguelites. It's like a very, very good marriage of both. But keep in mind that there are some small things in this game that might make you like bored out of your mind, or like start as you progress further and further, like during the days, because the game counts you counts the days that you progress. Like it's every time you start a run, it shows you like day 25 right on your screen, saying, hey, you're doing like it's 25th run. Okay. Like fine. Oh, also, like speaking of slow ass animations, every time you start a run, there's like a really, really slow zoom until the entrance hall, where you start. Like you see the whole mansion, and it like zooms in very slowly, enters the door, and stops at the entrance hall every time. Okay, like, and again, if you like want day 1, day 2, day 3, day 5, day 9 is like, okay, starting day 10, you're like, okay, I get it. I start at the hallway, I get it, but why not skip this intro animation? Just give me a small number on the corner, like saying, hey, you're in day 67. Like fine, okay, I just let me start walking. Like I know how this game goes by now. There's like these small things that add up, that's end up like, I'm not gonna say ruin the experience, but will definitely hamper your enjoyment of the game, and cause some friction. And especially since the first thing you do, like once you get that outside shack that you get, yeah, exactly, you go to the outside room to see like what you might base your run on. Because if the shack gives you like items, maybe you go for the for like having more shops. If you have like more dirt spots on the tiles that you place, maybe you're gonna try go for a shovel. Maybe you can like trade gems for steps on those specific shack rooms. So that small shack outside of the starting hall is almost like the base of your entire run sometimes, and you need to leave the entrance hall immediately, losing 1 step, by the way, because you left the entrance hall, and losing another 2 in the process because you go through a fence and you go through the room to activate it, most of the times, because usually like when you place the room, there's something inside that you might get. Sometimes it's random, sometimes it's just like items. So you immediately lose like 6 steps just because the game makes you start at the entrance hall, despite the basis of your run being outside of the mansion. So like it feels like actively punishing the player for wanting to do a run based on something instead of like just going in blind. So yeah, there's a lot of small things that the game could improve actually. Further to that, and this is like more specific to me, because I'm colorblind, some puzzles require colors, and the game does say it will feature a colorblind mode, but it's still being in active development. So what I did was, for one specific puzzle, I asked for help to do that puzzle. Like so, there's a sequence of buttons that change color, and they asked me to put the colors all purple, and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck purple is. So like I don't know how I'm gonna solve this shit. So I did ask for help for this specific puzzle. Ended up being a major thing. Like, ended up being a puzzle that unlocked some room outside that I needed to solve two things which is even worse. So I ended up like solving that puzzle, going outside, and if like the there's red, there's green, there's white, and there's blue and purple. Blue and purple, like, it's basically the same thing for me. We can one day talk more about. Actually, we can talk more about this because it's coming up in the news. What I did, if you guys want to know, so like that was basically Blueprints. If you guys want to know, but what I did in that situation, moving on, like with a very specific segue into news, Ubisoft released a tool for developers. Okay, this is not for players. Okay, this is for game developers to use to help them like understand where the game is failing for colorblind people. Okay, so what this tool does, it's called Ubisoft Chroma, and you download it, you make it run, and the tool will capture your window that like of a specific screen that you say like, hey, this is my game screen. So it will basically make a filter that you can toggle on and off and redimension inside the same screen, and you can change the filters to apply different types of color blindness, basically. And like the news came out, and I thought, oh, this is kind of neat. Ubisoft, Ubisoft always has hate. Ubisoft has a lot of hate lately with, like their games have not been like exactly amazing. I'm not saying they're bad, but their games has been very hit and miss. There has been some hate campaigns between the Prince of Persia stuff, between the Skull and Bones, between Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws, and there's a lot of bad mouthing around. Like, I'm not saying those games are perfect, but definitely there's been a lot of hate surrounding those games that it's definitely uncalled for. So I feel like Ubisoft is constantly under fire. Eventually they release this, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, this is actually a cool thing, because they have been using this tool for so long, and inside, and then decided to make it open source and release it to the public. So I'm just like, out of curiosity, I'm not a game developer, okay. I download that tool and start fiddling with it, especially on Blueprints, because of that same puzzle that we were talking about. And I'm gonna be super honest. I don't think this tool is very good. You get the filter on top of your screen, and the first thing that I notice is that I can see differences between my type of color blindness. I have protanopia, which is like red-green color blindness. Not in full. It's not protanomaly. And I think it's protanomaly that eventually there's like, so like inside your eyes there's like small cones that detect the light spectrum, right? And there's like cones for red, cones for green, cones for blue, and those like mix and match the colors according to what you're seeing, and like the brain decodes the color spectrum into the color that is supposed to be seen. Okay, what most colorblinds have is that either those cones are damaged or missing. Okay, if it's damaged, it's like partial colorblind. If the cones are missing, it's like completely color blindness for that specific color. Okay, so what I have is like damaged or malformed cones, vision cones. And the first thing that I notice is that I select my filter for protanopia, and I'm still noticing differences between the normal game and the filter. Okay. Which basically means that because the filter cannot be tuned in or cannot be fine-tuned, you're not actually seeing as a person with Protanopia is actually seeing. So like if you make changes in the game to accommodate for that filter, those changes might not work at all, or might actually work just for some people, but not for the majority of people with Protanopia. Which was like the first thing that I'm like, oh, okay, this is not like that well developed, I guess, but I mean, it's a free tool, like it's not that bad. Second thing I noticed is that there's like at least 9 types of color blindness, and they only feature 3, the 3 major ones basically. So if you're in those in between colorblind types of color blindness, then they're like the filter will not work, or the filter will not cater for those specific needs. The thing is, I don't think they screwed up. Like, I think the idea is good, okay? Like, it's just pretty much underdeveloped. But at the same time, I feel like most of the colorblind things, or the colorblind options in games, are pretty bad, actually. Like, most of the games, like, and AAA games are also, like, the major culprit. I get indie games don't have the budget to implement these types of tools for players. But the problem with being colorblind is that every type of colorblind is different. So like imagine that I can have Protanopia and you can have Protanopia, but our Protanopia can be different depending on the amount of cones that are damaged or malformed, okay? And the amount of damage those cones also have. Which means that the filters will work differently for us. And despite us having both the same type of color blindness, like the percentage of color blindness that we'll have, it's different, okay? So that means that something that works for me might not work for you. Games that do this very well, it's for instance, like I remember Overwatch letting me change the outline of the characters. But not for something that they had like pre-planned, but for something that I picked. So like if I wanna, for instance, like most of the people that I talk to, like that have, I'm gonna say normal vision, they have like normal vision, tell me that red is a very bright color. Red for me does fucking nothing, okay? Red is something that I look at like, yeah, like I guess there is. I guess there's a color there, like, but it's not that, like, it's not bright for me. It's not like, does not jump specifically into my mind. But if I change it, for instance, to yellow or for bright green, those colors are really, really bright for me. So that means like if most enemy outlines in Overwatch used to be red, and I took the red out and put it yellow, and red became my allies, which like I don't need to worry about because most of the times I'm tank, I'm like at the front, so my allies should be behind my back, behind my shield, or healing me, and not moving forward. And even if they are moving forward, I can usually see them because they're sticking close, unless you're a douche and you split from the team, okay? But for enemies, like, I can see the outlines if they're yellow. So I changed the outlines to yellow, and Overwatch became such a better game for me right now. Because I could actually see enemies from afar. There's a bunch of other stuff. Like, I saw Assassin's Creed add, like, the parry thing. Like, there's a parry mechanic in Assassin's Creed Shadows that there's, like, a glint showing up from the side that you need to parry on. And I couldn't see the red, okay? Like, I saw there was something showing up, but it was so subtle that if I could change the color of that glint for something like a blue or white, or something like a greenish tint or a yellow tint, saying, hey, something's coming up from this side and it's really bright on my eyes, I could probably parry that better if it's just, instead of just being red, okay? Which is funny, like, coming from a Ubisoft game that release this tool. Yeah, Nintendo is like awful in that regard. However, I'm gonna say Nintendo, because of the way they do the art style, because usually like I think like it becomes worse and worse as you get realistic graphics, right? Because the more realistic graphics you have, the more nuanced in tones and hues you're gonna get. And while Nintendo uses like those bright colors and usually very simple textures, Nintendo games don't usually have that type of problem. Some do, okay, some do, but because the way they do their games, it's usually not a big problem. Not saying they shouldn't do the colorblind thing, like I think accessibility should be a thing nowadays. But with Nintendo games, it's not that bad. It's way worse. Like if I'm gonna play like a Death Stranding, for instance, or if I'm gonna play a Call of Duty, or an Apex Legends, you know. But those games do actually have some colorblind tools implemented that kind of compensate. But yeah, I feel like most of the problems in most games, it's like, hey, if there's a UI thing, and I guess the glint could be considered UI on Assassin's Creed Shadows. If there's a UI thing you can't see, let me change the color for whatever I pick. It's not the things that you're gonna pick, it's me, okay? You can always blame color blindness whenever you drop the baby down the mountain, that's true. But yeah, like I feel most of the colorblind problems would disappear if you just let me pick the colors of the UI and some specific stuff. And don't put like, the thing is like most of the games that you see or you used to see, it's like, hey, we have the Protanopia filter right now and we'll just tint the whole screen green, for instance. Like Doom 2016 was one of them, one of those that use like a screen filter for you to play with the colorblind mode. And no, it just makes the game uglier. Like I can see that difference. It makes the game look way worse. But they added like, but there's a problem with that Doom, for instance, they have a light above the doors that if it's like, it's green if the door can be opened, and it's red that if the door cannot be opened. And obviously like I'm gonna be bumping into every fucking door because I cannot tell the difference. Okay. Does that make the game like not enjoyable for me? Like absolutely not. I fucking love Doom 2016, but and like bumping into every door imaginable in that game to see if it's a door I can open or not. Like, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's not gonna make me hate the game because the rest of the game is actually pretty good. But it would probably make my life easier overall, like navigating those environments. If I could change that red light above the door for like, you know, blue, I guess. Hey, the door is blue. It's fine. It's kind of thematic. I guess it is, right? But it's a small thing that like, oh yeah, they take all these like, I guess game design approaches to like crafting the environment and like, oh yeah, we're gonna put like one light this way above this door to indicate it's locked, and another light of other color in another door to indicate this is the way. But then like they forget that people like me exist, and they're like, well, I'm not gonna notice any of this shit because, you know, I can't see red, so fuck me, I guess. And I know, like people have talked about me about the Enchroma glasses, you know, like those glasses that you see, like you see people putting up the glasses and like crying and shit, because oh my god, I can see colors, and it's like, it's not exactly the way it works, okay? I'm not saying like it's a scam, okay? Like those glasses, what those glasses do is that they put on a filter overall to compensate the colors that you are missing, okay? So like if you see less red, they will yeah, that's the thing, like if you see less red, they will tone down the other colors to compensate for the lack of red. So it'll basically like level up or like level down the others to compensate. Which just means like, one, you're gonna see everything a lot darker overall because there's a lot less light coming inside your eyes. And the second thing is that you're probably gonna look like a nut job because you're gonna walk with sunglasses everywhere, even at night, right? And apparently they do say like you need to wear these glasses for at least a month to notice difference, some difference. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't need to see the colors of everything because I've been living with this condition for 37 years now, almost 38. So we find workarounds that make me watch things. And you get this question, that annoying question of people going, "Oh yeah, you're colorblind. Like, what color is this? What color is that?" They're like, "Fuck you." Okay, like that's not how it works. Okay, because like it's not. It's like, first, if it's purple, if it's a purple thing, okay, I can look at a purple shirt and guess it's purple. I don't know if it's purple or not, but like it's almost blue, but not really. Okay, like I'm not gonna get into this conversation of like what is blue, what is red, because like then we're gonna look like a bunch of stoners in chat. No, there's no cure. There's no surgery that heals color blindness at all. But like you get in that stoner conversation of people like trying to explain colors, and like there's no words. There's no words to like explain what color is. Like you cannot explain what red is. You can point at things that are red, but like but it's not. It's white and gold and blue and black. It's the fucking shirt all over again. But like I can take an estimated guess of like looking at the color, because you learn, like you as you grow older, you look at color and like this looks like blue, but it's kind of off, so it's probably purple because it doesn't look like anything else. So you guess purple, like, yeah, it turns out you are cured. Like, no, you're not. No, I'm not. Like, shut up. Like, fuck you. Just leave me alone, man. It's dumb, and this is all to say that like obviously Ubisoft releases this tool and it feels like a very good tool, but at the same time it feels so much underdeveloped that makes me question some of the efforts that they put on in different games throughout the years. Actually, hi Poshida and hi Mista. Welcome to the stream as well. I mean, you have the subtitles, so you can actually read. You don't need to listen to me. But that's the truth. Like it's the fact that the more I use that tool, like, and try to not only on Blueprints, I tried on Tekken, I tried on other things. Tekken has that wild colorblind mode where you have like different contrast shit and different colors, different patterns that almost hurts your eyes. But I guess if you're like almost blind, you can actually see that shit. That makes me question, like, okay, these guys went above and beyond, and maybe they overdone it with Tekken because those options are too weird sometimes, at least for me. Okay, but with Ubisoft, like, it actually makes me question some of the efforts that have been going around in the whole industry to make this type of accessibility, which is a feeling that kind of sucks. It's like people are fighting for accessibility, but they don't actually know what to do because they're not getting, I don't know, maybe enough feedback. Maybe they're not getting enough information out there from people like me and other types of colorblind people. That don't inform the developers that, hey, like, your colorblind mode actually sucks shit. And it's I'm honestly like very sad that tool feels as useless as it is. Then again, I'm not a game developer, so like I might be talking out of my ass here, so they take this with a very big grain of salt. And it is what it is. Like it's a shame that this tool did not meet the expectations I was expecting, to feel like it's actually something of a game changer, especially for indie devs, since it's such an open source tool. Since it's like and you can go there and like try to change if you know how to program in C, you can actually like add stuff to it, and it's open source, so you can do a branch. But it like I feel like it's not great, you know. It's not great. At the same time, like people putting Ubisoft under fire for releasing a tool like this in the comments, saying like, oh, maybe you should fix your games first. Like, fuck you, okay? Like, shut up. Go play Call of Duty or whatever you guys play. Expedition 33 time. Cool, man. Hope you enjoy the game, man. I'll be maybe playing it like maybe this weekend. That being said, let's transition into the news with some. Not that we have been talking about news first. Oblivion Remastered came out of nowhere. That's the biggest news this week, I guess. Eclipsing everything else. Eclipsing everything else that was going on like everywhere. The Bethesda put out like a big presentation about Oblivion Remaster, and you know, like it was shadow dropped, which is pretty cool. Okay, shadow dropping was pretty nice. The game, especially if you haven't been paying attention to the 500 leaks that happened before, like in the beginning of the year and probably last year as well. But yeah, Bethesda put out a big presentation with like the obvious differences between Elder Scrolls original and the remastered. They and SteamDB leak as well, like Grub leaked. There was so many leaks about this game, which made me actually feel sad for the developers at the end of that trailer saying, "We are proud to announce Oblivion Remastered." I'm like, yeah, like that was the most underwhelming announcement because everyone knew about it. Microsoft support as well about it. Like there was so much leaks that it's actually kind of sad, to be honest. Especially when it's the own company leak. Virtuos leaked the game on their website like 2 days before as well. Like, come on, just stop doing this shit. At that point, just release the games. Like, okay, cool. But yeah, they sent the whole trailer with changes. This feels like a proper. It's not a full remake, but it does feel more than a simple remaster. What's happening is that they have like the original game running under the hood, but the graphics are now being handled by Unreal Engine 5. So you still have the creation engine or the Bethesda engine running underneath the hood in there. Game looks very, very good. I'm not gonna lie, like the screenshots that they showed and the videos that they showed, I think the game looks really, really nice. That being said, however, they kept some stuff that maybe should have been fixed. They fixed a lot of bugs, that's true, but now you have the jankiness of the creation engine with some fixed stuff, plus the jankiness of Unreal 5 engine on top of it. That's creating, you know, another whole set of problems on top of it all. and they left the thing that I kind of hated the most about the game, which was the leveling up system. The level scaling, it's so bad in that game, that that it makes me wonder, like, I mean, at the same time, it's a remaster, and I think that people that played Oblivion would love to play that game again in its, like, in this modernized state, but with the same jankiness that the game had. But the level scaling led to very weird situations where so, like, for context, what happened is that the game, so, like, if you look at Skyrim has low level areas and high level areas. Okay, so, like, as you progress through the game and you level up, if you go back to a low level area, the same low level enemies are going to be there, and you can probably smack them away with one hit, which is cool. Like, the power progression in Skyrim feels very good. Okay, with Oblivion, there's no defined areas. Like, the game just scales up as you power up. So instead of feeling more powerful as the game progresses, you feel less powerful because the enemies are scaling up with you. But to a point where if you don't actively engage in inventory management, if you don't engage in, like, leveling up the right stats, and obviously if you're playing, like, on normal difficulty, if it's easy, you should be fine. But you can go from entering a cave at the beginning of the game where there's, like, 2 low-level skeletons and you can, like, probably bash them away pretty easily. If you go back there at the end of your playthrough, like level 60 or something, instead of finding those 2 same skeletons, what you'll find is 2 thugs in full-on, like, Daedric armor or glass armor, which is, like, the most powerful armor in the game. And you're gonna get assaulted by 2 thugs that are not even relevant to the Oblivion's quest story, which is fantastic. It's very jank, and obviously, like, not a lot of people like that feature. So you see, in the original game, you see people playing that game without leveling up at all, like the overall levels, because you can still, like, mess with the stats and all, but instead of sleeping to level up your stats, they just, like, complete the game at level 1, because that way the game just doesn't scale up with you, which is so funny. Like, that, the fact that they didn't even try to fix that game. Like, yeah, like, this is how it works, just ship it, it's fine. And I feel like I feel like some people took me wrong when I said, like, I'm not excited for this. It does feel very, very good. I'm not excited to play this because Expedition 33 is right around the corner. And I've played Oblivion back there. Okay, like, I've played Oblivion back there. I don't think people understand, like, how big Oblivion was for RPGs overall. I don't think like, I mean, some people obviously understand, but, like, Oblivion changed a lot of shit for console RPGs. Obviously, you had Morrowind on the original Xbox, the OG Xbox. That was already quite a big leap. But Oblivion on the Xbox 360 was a freaking revolution, because no one has, especially on the console sides, no one has ever seen an RPG of that, you know, grandeur coming out to a home console. Like, these types of RPGs were exclusively on PC before that. There were attempts, okay, like, there were other attempts of bringing Western RPGs into this type of into consoles, okay, into home consoles. But as big as Oblivion was, like, Oblivion changed the game for the better, okay? Like, everyone was trying to do the next Oblivion in a few years next. You got stuff like Kingdoms of Amalur, and especially, like, Xbox. This was I don't think it was a launch title, but it was like one of early title for Xbox 360, which really helped to showcase how fucking amazing that console was, and how ahead of the curve Microsoft was at the time. So, like, No. Xbox 360 was Oblivion. Original Xbox was Morrowind. With I'm pretty sure about it because I remember playing Oblivion at Rene's house with the Xbox 360 and thinking, "Holy shit, this is fucking cool." And yeah, it was a pretty cool game. Like, it helped also like bring more attention to the, I guess, the computer RPG genre and the Western RPG genre for the console players. Because again, like most of the people that play consoles were not aware of like such an open-ended type of RPG. They were mostly aware of the Japanese RPG style, which is like you had a preset story that you could play with a certain character. Like you still had the stats and the builds and all of that. But as open-ended that you have as a game like Oblivion, it was. I mean, the tech was not there for consoles up until that point as well. You had Fable, I guess. You had Morrowind on the original console, on the original Xbox, but not much. Which funny stuff. I don't know if you like how many of you know this, but Oblivion basically is mostly responsible for the creation of Dark Souls as well, because as soon as Xbox released Oblivion on their Xbox, PlayStation wanted something like similar or something to fight back the Oblivion on a game of their own. So they turned into From Software and say we need a medieval RPG right now to fight back these guys. And get something here on our own, like from our own. So we got Demon's Souls, which obviously, like at now, if you think about Demon's Souls and Oblivion, they're like, this is a very, these are completely different types of games. Although they're both RPGs in medieval settings or medieval fantasy settings. Demon's Souls is quite a big difference from the open-ended exploration that Oblivion had. So Sony did not get what they wanted, which is very funny to be. Oblivion being like basically the responsible for the creation of the Souls series by proxy. It's very funny and ironic, to be honest. And that being said, like Oblivion was like brought so many things to the genre, like it's. I don't think up until this day there's RPGs that are even similar to what Bethesda does. As much shit as we gave him, because we always like people talk a lot about Oblivion and like the Skyrim and Fallout RPGs as being these janky kind of open world exploration RPGs from Bethesda. Oh, the Bethesda jank, you're gonna clip through shit and physics are gonna go wild and all that. But the truth is that these specific RPGs offer you a type of freedom in build, in the builds that you can do that no other RPG offers you, because it's such a power trip down the line that you can basically put stats into everything and level up everything, so you just become a powerhouse of every type of skill. Usually, like if you play stuff like Baldur's Gate or Planescape Torment, like those types of computer RPGs and classic RPGs, you do need to think of a build. And skills get locked up as you progress, right? Or if you play like stuff like Diablo or World of Warcraft, those types of builds, like there's a talent tree that you need to follow. And then you have the opposite stuff with JRPGs, where you have like a fixed character with some skills, but you cannot like customize them. You cannot change most of their outfits. It's a lot of set in stone, especially if you think 2006. Okay, like now things are a little bit different. But in 2006, this was like pretty much the norm. And Oblivion came around, is like, yeah, you can go wherever you want on the skill tree, and you can just put stats wherever you want. Even if you level up something like an archery, nothing stops you from leveling up again, and this time putting points into alchemy and still keeping the bow and arrow skills that you have. Which makes the game, like, especially the late game stages of those RPGs in specific, like Oblivion, Morrowind, you think Skyrim, Fallout 3 and 4, those specific late stages on those specific RPGs makes you basically like annihilate anything in your path, or just be like stealthy as fuck. Like you can dump everything into stealth and just rob your way into the end game, just talking shit with everyone. It's very cool. Nothing comes close to Bethesda RPGs in that sense. You may like it or not, but that's a fact. No questions asked. But yeah, pretty cool. So they released this, they shadow dropped this, and we've been seeing a bunch of clips. It's like we're back. This is like the second coming of Christ for millennial gamers, I guess. The downside of this is that Oblivion came out 2 days before the Expedition 33 RPG that was announced, the French RPG inspired by Persona and other games. Like it's doing very well in the reviews department, but at the same time, the Clair Obscura Expedition 33, the launch day was kind of overshadowed by the sudden release of this 20-year-old RPG from Bethesda. Which is kind of weird if you think about it, because Microsoft was promoting a lot of Expedition 33. They had a whole developer direct with Expedition 33 as a highlight from Sandfold Interactive, and suddenly they're like, yeah, we're just gonna release the other big RPG that we have here 2 days before, completely overshadowing whatever like this game was supposed to be. Hopefully, like, the game still does well. Like I've seen a lot of people already playing it this morning. Even the accounts for both Expedition 33 and Bethesda tweeted at each other, like congratulating them for both launches, which is pretty cool. And but it just sucks ass that they just decided to release this 2 days before probably one of the most expected RPGs or JRPGs for this month, by shadow dropping a major remake out of nowhere. Obviously, like, this is not me saying that Xbox planned this from the get-go and they're trying to put Expedition 33 under a buzz like that. That's not what happened. It's just how things go. But this will probably take away some of the sales from Expedition, which is not great. In the meantime, Rena sent me this. A live-action Outrun movie is in the works. Michael Bay is set to direct, and Sydney Sweeney will produce the movie. This comes from an article on Deadline. I'm just gonna read this with you. Like, so, with the Minecraft movie owning the box office over the past month and HBO's The Last of Us returning with a bang, Universal is looking to add its own video game adaptation to the mix with the help of two big superstars, sources tell Deadline. That the studio is developing a feature adaptation of Sega's iconic arcade video game Outrun, with Michael Bay attached to direct and Sydney Sweeney aboard to produce. Jason Rothwell will pen the script. Plot details are vague. Sega Outrun series is a franchise that originated in some of the most successful arcade games in the world during the 1980s. The game, and this is the part that I read. I'm like, Jesus, I need to highlight this because this is so dumb. The game pioneered a new genre of driving games and spawned an electronic subgenre aptly called Outrun. No. just no. This is just I get that's just fucking synthwave, motherfuckers. What the fuck? There's no genre of music called Outrun, okay? This is like, what the fuck, man? What I feel they were overextending on this article, and that's why I think it's such a funny article from this. Yes, they obviously they like the genre of chill driving, I guess, and like checkpoint racing was innovative at the time. And especially like if you play this game on arcades, it also like it did not spawn a new genre of electronic music called Outrun. If anything else, it spawned the visuals for synthwave. Okay, like if you think at synthwave genre, you see like all the neons and the bright pinks and all that, and the Ferrari like cruising down the line, the Testarossa from that game, like cruising into the horizon. Yeah, I can see like the influences of Outrun in the synthwave genre. It did not create a new electronic music subgenre called Outrun. Like, come on. Definitely not true at all. This is just absolutely not true. At the same time, like, yeah, the industry is having a moment with video game adaptations. Universal, no stranger to adapting them into hit movies. Outrun is slated to follow the Super Mario Brothers movie and Five Nights at Freddy's, which grossed 1.4 billion and 290 million, respectively, in global box office. And I mean, you also have the Minecraft movie now that was also a pretty big success. The thing is, like, at some point, like, they're just adapting everything because they see a success story of something that actually works. So Super Mario Brothers like was mostly nostalgia bait, as well as Minecraft. Not saying those movies are bad, but they are bathed in nostalgia, right? Because you go to the movies as a fan of those video games to see the references. Okay, you see the Minecraft, you see the Chicken Jockey stuff. Five Nights at Freddy's, you'll see the plot with William Afton and the animatronics. Like, and those were pretty cool. Okay, I don't understand what story they're gonna pull from an Outrun movie about a guy driving his Testarossa into the sunset with a blonde chick on his side, and cruising 5 different biomes. I just don't get it. It's just like, whatever. And especially like, if you think about it, Outrun, it's one of those games that has zero story. Like, because Mario, you still have you have to save the princess, and like you get to a castle and you get the Toad saying, hey, like, turns out this is not the end of the game, you need to go through a bunch of others just to get to the princess, but she was kidnapped. So like, there's something in there that you can spin around and try to do something. But with Outrun, the game just like, you put the quarter in and you start driving. That's it. That's the movie. Not saying like this will be bad or anything. It's just like, it's such an odd choice of adapting Outrun of all things. At the same time, like, it's whatever. Like, there's no reading further into this, like, Rothwell recent credits include Polar and Arachnid. Those movies were movies, I guess, that were in the theaters, I guess. Outrun in a theater near you in 2 years from now or something. Another news, Nintendo dropped some physical game prices, or some prices of third-party games. Yakuza is gonna be sold for $49.99. the new Yakuza 0 director's cut with some added scenes. I had this somewhere, which I've missed. I've lost that link. Where did I put it? What the hell? What happened? Yeah, like my takeaway from this is that as we go along, like the pre-Switch 2 launch, we get more and more information about the games coming out, and the prices are all over the place. Which means like I don't understand like where we're going with this. Like some games are going to cost 90, some games are going to cost 50. It's a little bit everywhere. That being said, like I don't think it's a bad price for a Yakuza 0. Like $50 US for a remake with some added things, or like a port with some added things. The game has a lot of stuff for you to do. It's easily a more than 100-hour game if you decide to go for the side quests. So like I wish it would be cheaper, because the game is honestly like older now. At the same time, it's new for Switch 2, right? And the development and the costs for development for porting this game is still there. So you do need to take that into account. Still, pretty good game. Pretty good game coming out to Switch 2. And now for the last piece of news. This is going to be a short week in terms of news. We got a new trailer for Ghost of Yotei. That decided to just drop the release date out. Oh my god, what's this? Thank you. I don't know why he prompted me my age. Let me know if it's too loud for you. Probably a bit too loud.
A wandering spirit seeking vengeance.
I haven't seen this trailer, by the way, so it's like live reaction.
Who are you? I thought we killed your whole family.
The snake. The Oni. The Kitsune. The spider. The dragon. Lord Saito.
What are we going to do with this one, Saito?
I'm sorry it came to this, little wolf.
Okay. So this is gonna be like revenge story, right? I think the first one was also a revenge story. I haven't played that one yet.
Situ Rainu. Why do you always call me that?
It means one who is easily lost in the hunt.
You see that mountain? You can fuck it. I mean, you can go there. Okay, some traversal stuff. That's probably new.
I have to go home. Back where all this started.
Okay, so they just dropped like
I've never been.
they just dropped this at the end of the, like. So in a week where they dropped Oblivion Remaster out of nowhere and immediately overshadow Expedition 33 actually 33, Sony decides to actually launch a trailer for Ghost of Yotei and say, hey, here's the release date, I guess. What the fuck, Sony? Why? What the hell? Just like comes out of nowhere and they like decide to just slowly release the trailer with stuff and the release date, like, oh yeah, like it's coming out this date, just there you go. Cool. There's like a pre-order content, obviously, like as most games now do nowadays. So you got the Yotei 6 avatar set and Atsu if you pre-order, and an in-game mask to use on your character, I guess. Digital Deluxe includes the Snake armor, a Digital Deluxe armor die, and Horse and Saddle. Traveler's Map early unlocks, and oh, this is all early unlocks. So Snake armor, Digital Deluxe armor, a charm, Deluxe Digital Horse and Saddle, and the Sword Kit. These are all early unlocks. Is that what it is? And the full game. Okay. Plus the pre-order content, obviously, and they also announced the collector's edition with physical stuff. The Ghost Mask is actually pretty neat. I love this statue. It's pretty cool. You got the Tsuba, some art cards. Tsuba is like the hilt of the sword, and a papercraft ginkgo tree. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Pretty cool, like stuff. If you're interested in Ghost of Yotei, I do definitely need to play the first one because it looked like a game that I was really going to enjoy. But you know, backlog piles up, and I'm still not done with the games that I want to finish. And then there's more coming up. That's how backlog works. In the meantime, I'm gonna see if there's something I missed. Silksong trailer was removed from its Steam page. Like, there's not much to say about this. Just like the trailer got removed, so we don't know what's going on. No follow-up on this. If you have news that you want me to talk about, like before we like wrap up, I guess a lot of news about Switch 2 and games that like from people who had the hands on are constantly coming out in these 2 weeks that went by. So if you're interested, like there's a lot of stuff on the Switch. Oh yeah, Xbox Cloud Gaming is now available on LG Smart TVs. So if you're a proud owner of the LG Smart TV box, you can now play Xbox Game Pass on it if you're a subscriber of the Ultimate Edition of Xbox Game Pass, as long as you have a Bluetooth enabled wireless controller. You can connect it to the TV. Also works with the PS5 DualSense controller. That's kind of neat. So yeah, if you have one of those remotes or controllers, you can now play Game Pass games via streaming on your television if you have an LG. That's kind of neat. And there was another one. Yeah, no, not right. Switch 2 edition upgrades, the costs are already out. If a game like Zelda is gonna cost 10 for the upgrade for the Switch 2, if you own Zelda and you want to play that game with 60 FPS and HDR or better visuals, you're gonna have to shell in $10. And as for Kirby, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Metroid Prime Beyond, so Metroid Prime 4, if there's major DLCs like Kirby and Super Mario, you're gonna have to shell 20. It makes sense. Like most of DLCs nowadays are around that price, so like I guess it's just Nintendo keeping up with times. Not great, but also not terrible. Like it's just like on par with everyone else. In the meantime, I think that's it. Humble Bundle is selling the entire Doom series and Machine Games Wolfenstein's titles for $28. If you are interested in playing Doom, since we talked about Doom in this stream, or if you want to ever want to try Wolfenstein, $28. It's not a bad price. Not a bad price indeed. Okay, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything like that I want to talk about. I know most of you guys like I don't talk about Pokemon or some other major games coming out. Oh yeah, there's a game I want to recommend you guys. I know everyone's very excited with Oblivion, and I know everyone's very excited with Expedition 33 right now. But I want to recommend you an indie game, which I haven't done in a while in this channel. And there you go. It's Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3. So this is like a puzzle quest style of game. If you ever plays those games, like an RPG where you proceed in battle by doing puzzles, like a match 3 types of puzzles. The twist here is that this is a Metroidvania with puzzles, but also it's a sequel to 2 games that never released. So this is basically one of those meta-narrative games where you play someone stuck inside a video game that does not realize he's stuck in a video game, and eventually you need to find out what you're doing in there as soon as you find out that you are indeed stuck of a video game. And yeah, Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3. I'm gonna post a link in chat if you want to check it out or wishlist it. Game's out. It's like 13 euros on Steam if you want to check it. I found it's pretty interesting. It's like it's a bunch of it's a mix of several things that make the game very funny. So yeah, it's a personal recommendation of mine. If you don't want to play Oblivion and if you don't want to play Expedition 33. And I think this is gonna do it. I think this is the show for today. Once again, I'm so sorry. I was sick last week. Completely botched this button. I'm so sorry for being sick last week. Like we'll be back on the regular schedule now. I'm gonna see if I try to sneak some streams midweek or mid-weekend if I have the time. I do wanted to stream some more Blueprints or some Expedition 33 if I get the game in the meantime. But yeah, thanks for sticking out, and thanks for for checking in on me after this small absence. And I guess I'll see you next week for another Vegeta show. If you have someone to raid, actually, I think I'm the one who I'm gonna raid, because I've been promising a raid to this guy for quite a while. Speaking of blueprints, after this big rant that I gave you, let's check out how Abscond is doing, because he's playing blueprints. He's stuck in the pool room. Let's see what's going on. So yeah, say hi to Abscond for me. See if he needs help. I'm gonna grab something to eat and I'll join you guys in chat right now. And I'll see you, if anything, next Thursday. We'll be back with more Vegeta show. Bye.